Hello friends and bees and friends who are also bees, and welcome to this week's Final Fantasy XIV stream. This week I was originally planning to start off by doing FFXIV over on Maven and swapping to Odin. However, it looks like we're going to be doing Factory for Paisa later, so rather than doing it on stream and sort of flipping around this, that way and every way, I decided instead we are just going to start off 5.3, the MSQ, over on our shard. We're taking this a little slower than we were previously, a little more chill, sort of less pushy about it. And the plan is to sort of catch him up on everything that's been going on. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm caught up to date on this guy. That might be when I like finally swap over to Myron and I like start the game from scratch. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. I do want to sort of try out A Realm Reborn now. So we'll see. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do it yet. But that's probably, to be honest, that'll be something I worry about when I pick back up with streaming. Certainly for now, I'm not going to be worrying about that. So let us swap over to GP, shall we? Hello, it's me. I'm sorry my camera freaked out a little bit there. I think my camera's possibly having some issues. I'm just gonna wiggle it around a bit, see if that helps. If it needs to freak out, I'll just turn my camera off. So yeah, honestly, without any further ado, let's get into it. I realised when we left off last week, I was about to I was in the middle of doing the Eden, so part of me sort of wants to queue for that, and then part of me sort of wants to save it for its own stream. Because we'd only got round to doing Eden 1. So I think we're certainly gonna save that to later. That was sort of me trying to catch up on things pre 5.3, but I'm now like caught up in everything that's relevant on this guy. I'm gonna turn my audio down a little smidge. That seems a bit better. I'm just slightly worried about it being too loud. Hopefully that sort of evens out a bit. So for this stream at least, we are just going to be focusing on the MSQ. And I'm not going to push through it because I want my mic a little bit and make sure, as I so often do, that my bot is living. Come on. Watchy bot, what happened to you? Ah. Watchy bot lives, but not for long. Disconnected due to an unstable connection. Well, that's not good. Got 3,000. Let's get started with the cutscene while I wait for Mochibot to log back in, shall we? The manager of Sweets is looking a little anxious. Ah, Mr. Caprate Helone, will you be venturing forth today? Do be sure to take care of So. Though they say the Star Shower was harmless, one can never be too careful. But I concede it is not for me to tell the Warrior of Darkness how to look after himself. Old habits, you understand? Ah, Ashard, how very opportune. Greetings, my friend. Do you perchance have a moment to spare? Wonderful, wonderful. I wanted to thank you, you see, for revealing to us the truth of the Warriors of Light. After all these years, your tale set the record straight. Finally, the people see them as great heroes they were. Oh, the great hero he is in the case of Ardbert. You too were surprised to see him, I think. boy howdy was I fucking ever. At the time I was not certain what to make of it all, but I could see the effect his words had on those around me, and the stars rained down from the sky and, well, you know the rest. I'm gonna sneeze. Pardon me. When the commotion died down, you were nowhere to be seen, but I was determined to express my gratitude, and so here I am. Thank you, Ashad, for giving a voice to the truth and restoring the Warriors of Light to their rightful place in history. Should you perhaps wish to have your account of these matters committed to writing, I would be more than willing to serve as your scribe. Indeed, if there is anything I can do to help, anything at all, you need only say the word. Watchbot lives! So sleepy. This is going to be a chill, low-energy stream, genuinely, because I have had such a long day and I'm really sleepy, and I like napped after work accidentally. I came home and fell asleep for a bit and woke up in time to make dinner, so... Very well. Tell me what the situation is like in the city. Situation in the city? Do you mean the people's awakening as Warriors of Light? Well, while the questions remain to us about the circumstances surrounding Oddbot's return, history tells us that what took place may not be entirely unprecedented. But to understand that requires an understanding of the Warriors of Light in a broader romantic context. If it please you, I should be glad to provide an overview. I flatter myself that it may grant you a better grasp of that which is occurring not only in the Crystarium, but the world at large. Excellent. I shall return to the cabinet at once and look up the relevant texts. Pray join me at your earliest convenience. I'm going to try and remember all the things that I said on Maeve so I can choose different dialogue on Ashad. No rest for the righteous, it would seem. Do not let me keep you, sir. I bid you a pleasant day. That's always how it be. No rest for the righteous. My hair is all fluffy. Because I watched it and then I fell asleep and now my hair is all fluffy at the top. Keep it like this. It looks intentional. And definitely not like I fell asleep with wet hair, right? I'm enjoying my fluffy hair. Probably going to bleach it soon. So I'm enjoying my hair while it remains like soft and fluffy. I really like the Crystarium. Distracted as I often am by people's glamour. It looks so terrible. Like, the colour looks great on this character. This shirt just looks so bad on Maeve. And even worse on Ashad, no doubt. I want the, like, tit window shirts on Ashad. Dyed the right colour, that would look really good on him, I think. You just can't tell. I'm struggling to sort of work out colours on him because his skin is like such a dark burnt red that the only colours that really look good on him are like either black or white or metallics. Greens and blue. I really like how blues look. Greens kind of look a bit weird. I think blue is really his colour, but metallics suit him the best. Like, out of everything. Amphibert. I just had a thought, which is soon we're gonna see the kittens. They're gonna be kittens. A kitten. A kitten. Ah, Ashad, excellent timing. I have but this moment finished gathering the materials for our lesson. As a great many works make reference to the Warriors of Light, I shall, with your permission, focus only upon the details that seem most relevant. It's babysitting hours. The Warriors of Light, you say? Forgive us, but we couldn't help overhearing. We've been keeping watch over the Crystarium, but it appears to be business as usual. So I thought I'd spend some time brushing up on my knowledge of familiars, and Alphano volunteered to help. I actually came on a different errand, but I'd be interested in hearing about the Warriors of Light as well. May I join you? Of course, of course. The more the merrier. If you would care to find a table below, I shall be down with the books in a moment. I should have made tea before streaming. I was just thinking I really want a tea right now. But I don't particularly want to, like, steep it for 10 minutes while streaming, because I'll lose track of time. Were one to pore over the annals of Randic history, one would note the comparatively frequent occurrence of individuals hailed as warriors of light. Ardbert and his comrades required no introduction, but many others bore the epithet long before them. To name but a few, there was Tolthoril, legendary first king of Lakeland, Broadfort and Salabard, the fabled Dran and Galgant duo of Verbert. And no list of Randic heroes would be complete without the archmage Tiuna and Ronka. In older texts, she too was called a warrior of light. I like the phrase Rantic for Northrand, I suppose because that's Northrand. It did surprise me how ready people were to forget the negative associations of the title, but it makes sense if it's been around for centuries. Verily, in ages past it was simply a synonym for hero. In the wake of the flood, however, light came to be regarded with fear, the title used not to exalt but to revile. A far cry from its beginnings. It is the Warrior of Light. The Warrior of Light. This, my friends, is Northrand's oldest epic, the original tale of the struggle between good and evil. In a time when all lay shrouded in darkness, a prophesied hero rose to deliver the world from its doom. Fighting in the name of the light, the hero styled himself its foot soldier, and thus did he become to be known as the Warrior of Light. Suppose technically he'd be the Paladin of Light, wouldn't he? Curiously, in the centuries that followed, other heroes appeared who claimed the selfsame epithet, despite sharing no discernible connection with their predecessors. And in time, Warrior of Light came to be a name accorded to all people of uncommon skill and valour. Oh well, the plot thickens. As you know, the title of Warrior of Light is also used in the source. Though the manners in which individuals have earned it are many and varied, heroes have been honoured thus since antiquity. Nor does the custom show any sign of dying out, as you can well attest. It's definitely weird for Ashad because he hates the title of Warrior of Light. He feels like it was thrust upon him really against his will, it was not consensual, and he does not like being Heidelin's sort of chess piece in this sense. He really doesn't agree to it. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Surely it can't be a coincidence. Indeed not. Let us imagine a man who's awakened to the echo and is able to hear Heidelin's voice. As she styles him, so who too does he style himself? A warrior of light. Of course, being blessed with the echo does not in itself make one a hero, and conversely, there have been no few heroes who weren't blessed with it. But such distinctions are immaterial to the masses, and over time they came to use the title Warrior of Light and the word hero interchangeably. Which I find fascinating, that it is this sort of combination of you have the echo and you have almost like Heidelin's blessing in this sense. And to be a Warrior of Light, really, like us, you've got to have both. When Ashad's echo is a headache and he really feels the blessing of Heidelin is more of a curse for him. Sounds about right. Be interesting to see if the theory holds true in the other worlds, if crossing the rift are that easy. And there I was, thinking I was special. But you are special. No matter how many Warriors of Light there are out there, there's no one like you. At any rate, assuming all this is true and there's a common thread behind the epithet, I doubt the Asians will have been amused. To have the world at large associate light, and by extension Heidelin, with good, must have added insult to injury. Relevancy! This is really good knowing what we do now. Every bit of dialogue, I see it and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. While this discussion is undeniably fascinating, I wonder, should I be privy to it? Maybe it would be better if I excuse myself. No need for that, my friend. Pray or accept our apologies. Your lesson on the Warriors of Light has given us much to ponder. Oh, did I see someone say Warriors of Light? Ah! Ooh ah! A kitten. She's a little kitten and she's got a little triangle tail and she's a kitten. Ricky Tio, are you alright? My precious tomes. Did I not see you must take care in the cabinet? You too, Arkil, Airwell. We're sorry, Master Morin. Aren't you the Warrior of Darkness? My name's Ricky Tio, and I want to help everyone. She's a tiny little kitten. Oh my god, she's just as cute the second time round. She's doing this, and she's a little kitten. Please, tell me what I have to do to become a hero, to be a Warrior of Light. Shard's like, I did not sign up for babysitting duty. Her little face. Oh my god, her little face. It's so cute. Setting aside her misgivings, it seemed childish to discourage the young lady. Let's hear what she has to say. No harm done, to the children at least. Even children want to become Warriors of Light. We're sorry we knocked over the books. Children's inquisitiveness is to be commended, but my precious tomes. Do you remember me? When you returned from the sea from the Exarch, I asked how you became so strong. So, I want to be a Warrior of Light, but not one that fights with a sword and all that. No, I want to be the kind that fights with potions and heals people. An apothecary. And I'm going to help everyone in the Crystarium. No, in all of Norvran. When I told Arkil and Elwell this, they said the cabinet should have lots of tomes about potions. But this place is so big and we don't have the faintest idea where to begin searching. At this rate, I'm not going to get anywhere. If one knew one to look, one should indeed be able to find treatises on potions here. But I fear they may prove a little difficult for one so young. But, Esteemed Warrior of Darkness, perhaps you might accompany young Ricky Tio to Spadrix? Rather than through tomes, I believe she stands to learn more by observing the Chirurgeons at their work. Sorry, I'm just wiggling around to sit comfortably. Sounds like a plan. It seems you finished here, so we'll come with you. I don't have time for this. I know you're a busy man, but we can't well leave them without guidance, and it would only be for a little while. You can find your way to Spadrix, I trust. Off you go then, and have care that you don't knock anything else over. Sharda's not good with kids. He's, I think Ashard's primary emotion is, I don't want to be here. And he can be sort of charming and sort of blackly sarcastic when he tries to be. But certainly in this iteration of him, it does not come naturally to him. It does at first, and then as the story progresses, he becomes more and more tired and more unhappy with everything that's happening, and more bitter with the role that he's been sort of forced into. He really does not like it. My ears are itchy. I think I've got water in them. I've also made the executive decision that we're not going to talk to everybody in between quests, because I did that quite recently and it's a lot of speaking. If you couldn't tell, my throat really hurts. So. Well now, to what do I owe the pleasure of so many bright-eyed visitors? Is that the way of it, sweetie? You wish to learn about medicine? That's right, I want to become a warrior of light who uses potions to help people all over the world. Well, that is a very noble endeavour, and you aren't alone in it. And if you, our infirmary, yearn to venture forth as warriors of light, ultimately they've all decided not to pursue that dream. Huh? Why? Because the people here need them too, sweetie. The guards who place themselves in harm's way to keep us safe, the artisans who toil tirelessly that we might sustain our way of life, and younglings like you who are the future of the Crystarium. They couldn't simply abandon them, you see, and so difficult though it was, they made the decision to remain. Does that mean my dream isn't any good? Oh, sweetie, yours is a wonderful dream, and it would be my pleasure to help you to pursue it. If you will work hard, every day will come, and a day will come when the true Origins may set forth and aid folk in every corner of our realm. As we strive towards that day, I hope that we can rely upon you as well. Though I must warn you, ours is not an easy path. No, you must work very, very hard. Earwiggles! Earwiggles! I'm not afraid of hard work.
It's John.
Thank you for the host, Pixie. It is very much appreciated. How are you, Pix? I hope you are doing well. I'm sorry, I'm going to be clearing my throat a lot through this. I hope we get into some spoken cutscenes soon, so I don't have to. Thank you. Ah, that's sweet of you, Pix. I must warn you, although we are doing story, this is going to be a very chill stream because I am so tired. I'm really knocked out. I'm not afraid of hard work. I'll become the best apothecary ever. Just you watch. That's the spirit. Without further ado then, may I entrust you with a task? I've placed an order at Sweetsea for a potion ingredient, and I would like you to go and collect it. Oh, an ingredient. Leave it to me, miss. Such an abundance of energy, that I can't help but wonder if she'll be alright by herself. My apologies, but... Aw, thank you, Pix. I appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Have a good evening. Would you mind accompanying her? When you arrive at Sweetsea, speak with a woman named Grassine and she will point you in the right direction. I shall join you. As the one who suggested this course to Riki Tio, I would assist her in her first steps. And what about the two of you? Are you coming along too? Well, we do want to become warriors of light, just not the same kind as Riki. So we'll wait for you here, warriors of darkness. When you return, please teach us how to fight. In that case, Rena and I shall keep them company and take the opportunity to ask about their aspirations. Enjoying this funky music. Just a little bit out of it, if you couldn't tell. So, we chilling in the MSQ only sleepy zone tonight. Watch as I go completely the wrong way. I am good at this game, I promise. I know how to navigate, and that's a fact. Oh, if it isn't the Warrior of Darkness himself. May I assume you're with Master Alpha now? Right, lest you wonder, Chesterman's order is for grapes. As busy as we have been of late, I have regret to say we didn't have time to harvest them. So it was with apologies I asked Master Alpha and his young companion to help themselves to the fruits on the vine. Perhaps you could lend them a hand? It's the undersized grapes you want. They're too small for normal consumption, but suitable for making wine and medicine. Let's pick some grapes. I want undersized grapes. I want grapes in general. Oh, you here too? We're picking little grapes. It's quite fun. Wow, you picked this many already? Amazing. She does have a little triangle tail. Also, I'm going to light a candle, because it is a candle lighting day for me. I dare say we have enough between us. Should we take them back to Chesterfield? I can't wait to see what she's going to do with them. Tell me, Riki, what made you want to become an apothecary and a warrior of light? Why? Well, a while ago I fell sick. Really sick. My body was burning up and I felt so weak I couldn't even get out of bed. Then a travelling apothecary came and gave me a potion to drink. It was the foulest thing I'd ever tasted, but it made me get better. She was so brave. The apothecary, I mean. She went around taking care of people, even when it was dangerous. And I decided I wanted to help people, just like her. So I started brewing potions out of grass and giving them to my friends. But I didn't really know what I was doing, or if there was anything else I could do. Then, not long ago, a neighbour told me he was going to become a warrior of light and go travelling the world, helping people. And I thought, that's the same as what I want to do. I see. Out of curiosity, what did your neighbour do in the end? Thaler? I haven't seen him for a bit, so he must already be out there looking for people to help. Thaler, one of the guards awakened by the star shower. Thank you for sharing your tale with us, Rikitio. I myself took inspiration from one not unlike your travelling apothecary, and I hope her good example will spur you on to realise your dreams. But it will not be done in a day. Such lofty goals are reached through hard work and persistence, through countless little acts of heroism, like delivering the grapes to Chesterfield. I love her little pigtails. It would seem I've been labouring under a misapprehension. I convinced myself it was Lidibus who had sowed the desire to become warriors of light within the hearts of the people. But I see now that the impulse to aid their fellow man abided within them from the first. Lidibus did no more than give it a name. As you so kindly proclaimed, we must return to our world ere long. With the Elksark labouring tirelessly, I doubt not but that a way will be found. Yet I believe I speak for all of us when I say we cannot live in good conscience, not until we've dealt with a Lidibus. Don't you worry about that! This is no longer a strange and distant land after all. Norvran has become as a home to us and her people our own. Ashard's like, speak for yourself. Let us return to Spadrix. Wouldn't do to keep your admirers waiting. I decided, fun fact for Ashard, after doing Werelit, that I've sort of hammered out the details of his backstory. So his family came from Werelit originally. They were traders. They sort of travelled all around, mostly Ilsabard and around that sort of area, and they were traders, and they sort of went everywhere. And then when Werelit got invaded, they fled and sort of, I figured they were like like crafting, trading family, and you know, half the family did trade and the other half did the crafting, and they sort of fled and they travelled basically all across everywhere. So I want to bring up a map of Eorzea. So you can see like Yerebanya's here. This is the sort of Otharda's here. I'm not sure where Werelit is exactly. I know it's on the coast. I figure they probably, after it got invaded, they probably went up the coast. They would have gone to the, they would have spent time here in the Azam Steppe, probably with the traders in Reunion, and they would also have spent time sort of around here on the mainland and the islands as well. And they did, you know, they spent time almost everywhere, and eventually they came back. They travelled to Eorzea, and I think, I'm not sure where exactly they would have started, but they would have definitely spent time in Ishgard before, probably they came across, either they came through Thanlan and sort of travelled up this way. I don't think they would have gone to Lenosha. Either way, they sort of came through Ishgard. They spent a lot of time in Ishgard, and then they ended up in the Shroud. And so that's why Ashard never really considers that he had a home until they came to Ishgard, which is where he sort of first found a place that really mattered to him and felt like home to him and found something that was important. And that's why he always sort of fights for Ishgard and then to get back there and then to stay there, because that's really where he found his own home. Hi, thanks for your help, sweetie. We now have all the ingredients we require. From the grapes we shall make a vinegar, to which we'll add elf grass and a few other herbs to produce an invigorating syrup. Though it's unspeakably sour, it does wonders for the constitution. As part of her studies, I may just have to give Riki tea a little taste. Creepy. Kimchi ears. Horror of Darkness. I finished helping Riki. Won't you show us some fighting? Not play fighting, but honest to God's fighting. We already have some enemies that you can deal with. Vampire bats. The guards say they've become a real pest around the Castellarium of late. We tried to sneak outside to hunt them, but the guards caught us and sent us home. But they shouldn't mind if you were doing the fighting and we were just watching. Jordan told us as much while you were away, and in preparation, Chestermill kindly furnished us with some lures for the bats. While the creatures won't give you any sport, bear in mind the younglings will be watching. That's to say, put on a good show, yeah? Right, let's head outside at once. Everyone, follow me. Reen, wait just come on then, children. And Alfie's like, I'll stay here, I think. He's not a fan of all this fighting business. So anyway, that's just sort of Ashard's backstory complete. His family definitely, they fled Werlicht when, yeah, it's very itchy. They fled Werlicht when he was quite young, so he really has no memory of it, and it doesn't feel like home to him. I liked his family probably originally came from the Asam Steppe, and at some point they emigrated, and then they would have emigrated to Werlicht and sort of tried to make a life from themselves there, because you do. Apparently, you get a lot of Aura who have sort of travelled from across the various continents who gather in Werlicht, and that's where all the kids came from. So I like to imagine his family was probably one of those who came to Werlicht later in life, and so that's part of why possibly they returned to the steppe and they returned to Girabania, but they just found that they couldn't make a life there, and as they were fleeing the Gallians were starting to threaten there. They couldn't make a life. They probably just didn't feel very welcome because they weren't, you know, they weren't originally, they were from there originally, but they hadn't been there for so long that it didn't feel right. They didn't feel like they belonged, and so that's probably why in the end they travelled to Eorzea, because they were like, well, if we don't belong here, we'll find somewhere we do belong. Everyone's here. Good. Let's get started, shall we? As the name suggests, vampire bats feed on blood, and originally being nocturnal creatures, they've grown more active with the return of night and become a nuisance. To draw them out, we'll use Chestermill's lures, which work by exploiting their heat-seeking behaviour. The bats are wont to rest under the eaves, so you're likely to attract more if you place the lures near buildings. I have here 6 lures, 3 each for you and me. As proof of a successful kill, I want you to gather up 3 their fangs. Whoever collects the most is the winner. Oh, you're hunting too? Well, there's nothing like friendly competition to bring out the best in our shard. Anyway, while we hunt the bats, the 2 of you to stay with Reen. She's really strong too and will keep you safe. She is really strong, and she's a good girl. Without further ado, let the contest begin. I like that it's basically like canon that you don't actually really try here. Seeing as clearly we can destroy them quickly. Bip. Alright. Bip. do a star diver. Just because. You know? Like, ain't nothing wrong with a little star diver. Maybe these two down. I love that post that's like, nothing wrong with a little :3, like for the kitty face. I love that post a lot. I was sitting more comfortably and now my foot has gone to sleep. Wonderful. Sorry for the notification noise there. That's because I've had a Discord ping, Twitch, and a Twitch. Cool. Here we go. That's the stuff. Let's fucking leg it. I'm absolutely going for the do a barrel roll. It's literally what it says. You can't see it because my face is over it, but the do a barrel roll in all caps. I'm going for the further away ones, but hey, like, that's how it be, you know? My hair really is really very itchy for some reason. I wonder if it doesn't sound odd, but I wonder if it's just tiredness. I have like been talking and like presenting to my coworkers all day, so which is why my throat hurts so bad now and why I'm so tired, because it is exhausting. I hate presenting. I'm so bad at it. So now I'm just like dead to the world. And I'm wondering if that's why my ears hurt because of that. Just checking a thing. Right, so. Scholar up. Red Mage unlocked and Dancer unlocked. Rogue unlocked. So I've got the classes, and I'll be Scholar eventually, that I'm going to be doing unlocked. Trying to decide if I want to trying to decide what I want to do, basically. Well fought, Ashard. The children are hanging on to your every move. As was I, to be honest. Though I know the tally. May I see your fangs for good measure? Fangs for the memories. Apologies for the wait. My fangs. Not a bad haul, even if I do say so myself. Five, six, seven. 7 fangs from Alizé. Which means we have a draw. Ashard also collected 7 fangs. Why does it feel even worse than losing? Just another measly fang and victory would have been mine. That's neat, so the number you collect actually does depend on where you go. That's pretty cool. Don't look so surprised. I've no intention of remaining lost in your wake forever, you know. So, children, you've now seen the Warrior of Darkness in action. What are your impressions? He's incredible, miss. The Pats were down before they knew it. Our guards are strong, but the Warrior of Darkness is much, much stronger. We want to be just like him. Good. If you're looking for an example to emulate, you may as well pick the best. I want you to remember how you felt when you watched our shard and train hard. Keep at it for long enough and you'll be strong too. If you don't mind telling us, when did you decide that you wanted to become Warriors of Light? Well, we were there listening with everyone else when Ardbert appeared, but I wanted to be strong since before I came to the Crystarium. The Sinites killed my father and my sister, see, and I promised myself I'd learn how to protect people one day. Like Ardbert said, this is our home. We're the ones who have to protect it. We're the ones who have to rise up as new Warriors of Light. And what about you, Arkil? Me? To be honest, I'm still not sure what I want to do. But if my friends are in trouble, I know that I'd want to help them. And I want to go on adventures with them, see the world together. That's a wonderful goal. You really think so? It's hard to explain, but it's something I felt when I saw the Shell Shower the other day. I felt as though there was something I'd lost and that I had to go out there and find it. Well, for the both of you, there's nothing for it but to train. When we return to the city, I'll teach you some exercises you can do by yourselves. They're so cute and little, and he's got the frosted tips. I mentioned this last time, I love his frosted tips. Thanks for showing us your fighting skills, Warriors of Darkness. We'll never forget it. Definitely fucked up my voices there, but that's okay. I understand how Arkil feels. The Star Shower didn't awaken me to Heidelin's voice, but that vision of the final days of Amarant burning, it filled me with sadness to the very pit of my being. Things I once knew, people I once loved, promises I once made, felt as though long forgotten memories were dancing at the edges of my mind, but when I tried to focus on them, they simply fade away. An effect of having a fractured soul, I shouldn't doubt, but lest you worry, I'm perfectly happy to remain fractured and have no intention of donning an Ascian mask. I just wish we knew what Elidibus was plotting. But look at this pair of incurable breeders. If we're going to stand around lost in thought, we may as well do it back in the city. My foot's gone to sleep. Get ready for the next half hour of me complaining about pins and needles. Rest assured, Rena and I will take the children from here. Their heads will be in the clouds after meeting you, but we'll see to it their feet remain firmly planted on the ground. Honestly. It's nothing. Just a dizzy spell. Seems I tried a little too hard to beat you. I'm fine now, not to worry. I'll see you soon. As you ponder Alizé's words, you're taken by an urge to revisit the scene of that fateful meeting. Less a panda. It's an apanda. I'm so glad things have quieted down now in the weeks since this has come out. There's like there's less people like queuing for each thing, which makes it a lot easier to stand there, and even if it makes the DPS queues a little longer like next week, I'll survive. Like, that's fine for the fact that it's easier to actually like go to an area. Quay. Don't know why my chocobo said Quay there as opposed to Quay. But it does. It says Quay. I'm gonna sneeze again, possibly. Pardon me. Goodness, that was a yawn, I'm sorry. Time to get sad, boys! Get out of my friend's body, bitch.
Why am I... Was it you who called me here?
May have been. I shan't tell you. On behalf of the Convocation, I bid you welcome to our order. In times you will stand with us, at times you will stand against us, all that you might steer mankind and the very steer upon their true course. For yours is the seat of Elidibus, the emissary, and by this name shall your every action be guided. I'm going to go on a rant about Elidibus here real quick, something that I have been thinking of the last week and I've decided. The primary emotion that I feel for Elidibus now in the wake of 5.3 is sympathy, because it seems to me the impression I get from him is that he was maybe not a kid, certainly a younger guy, certainly sort of emotionally younger, who was pushed or volunteered or whatever happened for this role of emissary, and then again was pushed or volunteered, whatever happened for the role of spoiler alert. And it seems like the roles that he was given, the roles of spoilers and the roles of emissary, took over everything that he is. It became his entire identity, so to the point where he forgets who he was beforehand. He forgets everything about him other than this is his job. And the problem is those two jobs do sort of pull him in different ways, and so a lot of what he's doing is navigating around that. And he's definitely a bad guy. He definitely hurts people. But at the same time, I feel sympathy for him. I feel sympathy for who he was, not who he became.
So you peered into my memories. No matter. You will have found little of import.
Also, Alshard's Echo flashbacks come to him as a massive headache, so he's really unhappy about it.
You intended to summon me here no more than I intended to come. The fault is mine.
Somebody made a good point that he could have been summoned because we were
Such is
thinking about him. Give back Arbert's body, you bitch.
What fool would relinquish his weapon on the eve of battle? That which I do is no different from that which you have done so many times, Warrior of Darkness. I arm myself, I hone my skills, I make ready to vanquish my enemy. You. You who have murdered my brothers, who have taken their selfless labors in service to the one true world and turned them to ash.
Definitely not selfless.
You are. You are death, and only in death shall you serve any purpose. The Convocation charged me to steer mankind and the very star upon their true course. As Elidibus, it is my duty, and I shall see it done.
I just find Elidibus as a character so fascinating. But he sees himself as our ultimate opposite.
Body and soul. All else must wait. Ere long I will come for you, Warrior of Darkness. And I will save the world. One last matter. I bore witness to your final struggle with Emmet Selk. It seemed as if he saw something familiar in you.
Sure did.
As if he mistook you for another. Keep your counsel, then. You spare me further frustration. As often as we have met, you have never once awakened any memory within me.
It's because you're losing them all.
Mayhap I never knew you. Or mayhap it is another fragment lost.
He looks so young.
I wasn't aware you already had a guest. If the conversation is constructive, I shall not intrude. But if you seek to stir up trouble, Elidibus, then I must insist you leave at once.
He's always stirring up trouble. It's that time. It's time for a red herring straight through the chest.
Though you lack her blessing, your soul is surprisingly dense.
I think his soul is dense because it coalesces, if that makes sense.
Worry not. I seem to be unharmed. This is my own doing. The consequence of my recent exam.
Crystal Catboy. He really is a Crystal Catboy.
It is the tower's way of compensating me for the demands I have placed on it. Rest assured, it is no great inconvenience at present. Indeed, I told Beck Lug as much, but they would not be persuaded and sent me away to rest. No need to make a fuss. Strange as it may sound, I consider it something of a badge of honor. One of the brave souls who saw me delivered unto the first once said that the world shall ever have a place for tales of heroism so long as we have need of inspiration in our lives. Though he and his fellows had no way of knowing whether their mad scheme would amount to anything, they knew that the attempt alone would inspire hope, or so they hoped. A more optimistic lot one would be hard-pressed to find. They said they would find a means to save our God's-forsaken world, just as soon as they had sent me on my way. Said it with such confidence that, for a fleeting moment, I half believed them. Such faith, such courage in the face of unrelenting despair. For a long time, it was more than I could bear to remember them. But having come this far, having sent full many on their way myself, I see things more clearly. To take action is to hope. To believe, to choose to believe, is to take the first step towards a brighter future. And why do I tell you this? Because I want you to indulge me in a little recklessness. Needless to say, I have a plan. And when all is said and done,
I like
I
Exarch
will ask
the
yet another favor of you.
returning to the young cat that he used to be, whom we used to go on crazy adventures with.
You're both here. Oh, thank goodness.
What's wrong?
It's Thancred. He's collapsed.
Oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. I do like Exarch, who's like, I used to do these things, and now we're doing them. The fate seemed determined not to allow us a quiet moment, but come, let us have the details from Reen. We want skill speed and direct hit. Mostly I'm using these foods for leveling. It happened after Alizé and I saw the children back to Spadrex. We chanced to meet Thancred there, returning from his mission. He'd been shadowing Elidibus around the realm, only to lose sight of him near the Crystarium. and he was in the middle of telling us where he'd been when he just crumpled to the ground. The Trojans are looking after him now, with Alphino standing by in case his healing magics are needed. Since I couldn't do anything to help, I thought it best to find you, and the guard at the Extra told me where to look. I see. It cannot have been easy leaving Thancred's side. My thanks for bearing word to us. Come, let us hurry to Spadrex. And we will do that by jumping and almost making the lookout spot. The reason I was looking at my classes earlier is because I was thinking when I've like caught up on the story and caught up on Eden and everything on this guy, I might go back and start leveling old classes. I think I'm going to start by getting Arcanist up to 30 so that I can then unlock Scholar, and then we'll start like leveling Scholar, and then Marauder as well. And I'm going to try and do... I'll probably do like Dancer, Scholar, Red Mage. No, I'll probably start with Rogue actually. I'll probably do like Rogue, Scholar, Dancer, Warrior, Red Mage or something along those lines. Try and alternate it out a bit. So the Warrior and Arcanist I will do primarily through Roulette, and then the others I will do through side quests and fates and stuff like that, levy quests, that sort of thing, like Beast Tribes, all that sort of thing. I'm sorry. They tried you here too, did they? My apologies. How do you feel? Embarrassed, but otherwise well enough. I won't be staying overnight. The episode was not the result of any injury I could find. Thancred's ether, however, did show signs of instability, and I did what I could to calm the fluctuations. And all of this happened without warning? Not exactly. You'll doubtless recall the time Yorianche nearly drowned and I gallantly went to his rescue. When the walking charm failed, he was tired, as were you when you got back. We were both spent, yes, on account of which you begged us to rest, which in retrospect may have been a good idea. The fact is I've been experiencing regular bouts of lightheadedness ever since, but there was no actual fainting until now. As Alphino observed, I have no lingering injuries, so it most assuredly isn't old age, but leaves but one likely cause. The link between body and soul has weakened further. Time grows short. We must complete the spirit vessel with all haste. To that end, Ashard, might I trouble you to make a trip to the source? In addition to looking in our friends' bodies, I would have you consult Kryl about our plan. If she has any concerns, we should at least endeavour to address them prior to proceeding. In the meantime, we should get back to laying bare Elidibus's plot. Thus far I have learned this much, that in each of the places he has visited there have been sightings of suspicious black-clad strangers. Moreover, the coming of these shady individuals has invariably coincided with some matter of misfortune. Beasts terrorising settlements, blight ravaging crops, you know the sort of thing. All of which serves rather conveniently to make Elidibus's call for new heroes reverberate that much more loudly in the hearts of his audience. And you think these black-clad strangers are Ascians? I do, and I intend to investigate further, though for that I shall require additional feet on the ground. You can count on mine. Gods know I've been itching to get out there for a while. Mayhap Yorianche too can be prevailed upon to join in your efforts. He's already provided copious guidance on the matter of the spirit vessel's conduction. It is for Vec Luke and I to risk the rest. Well, if you can spare the old boy, we may as well make use of him. I'll go and give him the good news. You'll do no such thing. However heedless of you are of your own well-being, if you care at all for Reen's feelings, you'll stay in bed until you're needed. Alphino and I will find Yorianche. All being well, we shall have news to share by the time you return. Safe travels, Ashard. Ashard's like, last time I did this, Gaius was there, it was all a mess. You have a nap, Thancred. Go do a sleeping. Go do a sleeping and we'll do all the hard work. And we'll get to enjoy flying. Most importantly. Put your faith in the Exarch and do try and visit now again. He is so fond of you all. Will do, Vec Luke. both of them. We'll be doing rather a lot of visiting soon. I like the idea of those two becoming used to us, just like appearing out of nowhere. We're just like, sup? It's me. I've returned again. Pokes a tattoo. Good lord, I've got so many side quests to do. Let me in! Don't say no entry to me, let me in! Let me in, meow! There we go. So yeah, once again, we're not going to talk to everybody because I did that last stream, so we're just going to push forward with the MSQ and try and save my voice a little. Oh, Shard, what excellent. I mean, awful timing. You see, our friends, they've taken a turn for the worse. Kral's hardly had a moment rest these past few days. She didn't want everyone to worry, so we've been keeping it quiet. Oh, but listen to me. I call myself a receptionist and I haven't even bothered to ask you why you're here. So they think the spirit vessel will be ready soon, and they want to make sure there are no problems at this end. You better talk to Kryl. She's with the others in Dawn's Respite. Let's go see her. Just prepare yourself, alright? Stupid spurs on his armor. I love this spiky armor. I hate how unnerving this is even the second time round.
Excuse us.
Like, this is so depressing. Lit only by the glow of Ashard's armor.
This way.
I guess they're glasses next to each one. Odd.
I would rather you hadn't seen this.
I'm sorry. We have urgent tidings.
Oh, no, I'm not angry with you. On the contrary, I know full well how hard everyone has been searching for a way to return home. And I had hoped to afford you the time you needed. But given our friend's present state, perhaps it was for the best that you came. Stiff and cold, all of them. As if they were made of wax. Barely alive at all.
Poor kiddos.
And they had been doing so well. Save for occasional signs of etheric instability, they appeared to be in passable health.
I like that the kids get, like, sleep sandals.
Then, quite without warning, things took a turn for the worse. A change for which even Master Matoya could offer no explanation. She could only remind me that the soul is yet an unknown frontier, and that much and more lies beyond our ken. But let's not lose heart just yet. At times like these, it is all the more important that we remain positive. Why? I but this moment succeeded in quelling a fluctuation in Thancred's ether.
Because you just passed out.
And while the others have weakened, they have remained relatively stable. I believe I may leave my post for a moment. So come, let me hear your tale outside.
Kryle's outfit, by the by, is so fucking cute. I want it. I don't know which of my characters would wear it, but I really want it. Poor kids. Poor everyone, really. How awful. How truly and abysmally fucked up. Charlotte's like, and to think I could have entrapped that myself. But a whole body and everything. I had canon that for whatever reason the portal didn't work and he couldn't return until the end of 5.0, at which point Kryle and Tatara had to be like, hey, you're rescuing our friends, bitch. What news from the first? I see. Work on the spirit vessel precedes the pace, but our friends began to falter. As they themselves have observed, the link between body and soul has weakened. It's as simple as that. For now, I'm still able to quell the fluctuations in their ether, but it's only a matter of time. We'll lose them if we don't act soon. So if the Exarch is ready to attempt something, let him attempt it. As for the spirit vessel itself, if we seek to draw upon Allegan wisdom, we could do worse than consult an expert in the field. To think, I know just the man. Time being against us, it may be best if I go and solicit his aid in person, even if it does mean leaving my patients. Ashard, could you spare a moment? While Crowley goes to find an expert of hers, I mean. There's a gift I was hoping to send to our friends in the first, you see, and since we might be waiting a while, I wondered if you wouldn't mind giving me a hand with it. My first attempt turned out well, so now I'm going to make it properly. I'll be at the kitchen at the House of Splendors. Meet me there! Well, I'd better be off too. I shall see you soon, either here or at the house, depending on how our patients fare in my absence. Elegance. I really thought they were, like, legit going to bring Nero in here with their expert in elegance, but that's just how my brain works. That's how it be up in here. I'm sorry this stream has been so chill. I've not really been, like, reacting to the story as much. I feel like I've had my, like, first reactions, and now this is, like, playing it again and noticing all of the little things, but also the fact that I am genuinely so tired. I am unconscionably sleepy, and I've got to be on reception tomorrow, which I really don't want to do. Oh, I wish I traded with somebody, but there's nobody else you can do tomorrow, so it's gotta be me. All that I do. Alpha! He's here! Oh my god! It looks now like I'm patting the cook, but I'm actually patting Alpha and Omega. They're here, watching the cook. There you are, Ashad. As I'm sure you've guessed, the gift is a bit of home cooking. Unlike Kral, I can't do much to help our friends directly, but that doesn't mean I've been idle. No, I've been doing our best for the Order, taking on this job and that to keep our coppers full. I've even helped out with the Ishgardian restoration. And in the course of all this, my culinary skills have come on quite a bit, so I thought, why not make something for our friends? It's baking in the oven even as we speak. It shouldn't be long now. Munchin' crunchin'. Crunch and munch. There, baked to perfection, even if I do say so myself. Your cake looks like bread? It is bread, silly, and not just any old bread. This here is old world bread. Archon loaf, to be precise. It's what they eat over in Charlian. Simple fare, I admit, but I thought it would remind our friends of home. If nothing else, Kral tells me it's a good source of ether, so it should lend them a bit of strength at least. There is truly nothing like the smell of bread fresh from the oven. Kral, and if it isn't Rambraise too. I trust you require no introductions either, Ashad. Greetings, my friend. Full glad am I to see you well. I confess I have a long list of questions to ask you, but I will endeavour to contain my curiosity for the present. I understand our mutual friend is struggling with the application of certain elegant technologies. I've been keeping Rambrose apprised of events from the first. Suffice it to say, he knows about the Exarch. If anyone alive can provide insight into this matter, it is him and his fellow sons. Loath as I am to disappoint you after so glowing an endorsement. Marrow transference was the sole province of Allegan royalty, its mechanisms closely guarded secrets. If any record of them remains, we have yet to find it. To wit, I regret that I can offer no solution to your problem. Which begs the question, why I bothered to come here empty-handed as I am? The answer being, rather brazenly, to ask a favour. I would have you relay a message to our comrade. Tell him that we never doubted him. Never doubted that he would achieve all that he said he would. Those of us who remain behind have yet to play our part, but when the time comes, he may rest easy in the knowledge that we will most assuredly do so, and then the tower shall shine once more as the beacon of hope, in this world and beyond. Started getting sad already because of the fact that it does shine as a beacon of hope. So tell him something. Forgive me, but do you say this to discourage him from overexerting himself, or encourage him to hold nothing back? That is for our friend to decide, but either way, I dare say a certain someone will be unimpressed. Well, there you have it, Ashad. If you'd be so good as to see Rambro's message and Tatara spread to their intended recipients, along with my report, of course. Krile, before I wrap the bread up, would you mind giving it a try, just to make sure everything's as it should be? But of course, I'm always happy to lend my taste buds. Excuse me, Rambros. As a fellow Charlian, may I trouble you for your opinion? Well, I usually have mine with a good old Rollenberry jam, but I suppose plain is best for sampling purposes. Tatara is so cute. I see. Oh no, is it that bad? It is indeed, Tatari. Dense and unpleasant, exactly as it should be. Just so, the very taste of home. As you might expect, our countrymen have amassed a wealth of culinary wisdom from every corner of the world, but our native cuisine is, shall we say, a little lacking. In Charlian, the majority regard food as a source of nourishment rather than enjoyment. See, for those of you who actually research the culinary arts, we pay little heed to niceties of taste and texture. It was against such gastronomic landscape that what is now called the Archon loaf was born, the creation of an Archon who devoted himself to the study of bodily sustenance. In order to maximise its nutritional value, he incorporated copious amounts of pulverised fish and vegetable matter into the dough, all with nary a care for those qualities which make bread enjoyable. The result is a flavour that continues to defy description. Yet for its many shortcomings, the loaf's nutritional value cannot be denied, and being a damnably convenient way to cater to one's bodily needs, it quickly found an audience amongst busy scholars. Why, when I was a lad, nigh every meal was a sandwich made with this bread and whatever ingredients happened to be on hand. I suspect just about every Archon could say the same. Having been away from home for so long, I thought I might have forgotten the taste, but no, it is all too familiar. How it takes me back. If there is enough, perhaps you can spare some for the Exarch? He is certain to appreciate it. Oh, there's plenty to go around. I'll be sure to wrap up an extra slice. Ashad, when you deliver the loaf, please be sure to send everyone my regards. Tell them we're doing everything we can and we'll be praying for their safe return until the moment they get back. Right. We're not going to go the long way. We are just going to slash return to the Crystarium. Let's go. Wait. Sorry for the noises you get. Whenever I alt-tab to check something, Chrome is like, hey, things have happened. And it's like, you've got an email that's a fic that you are way far behind on. And haven't caught up on in ages. Because it's a fic that's like an extended series spin-off of a like one-shot that the author wrote. And I hate to say it, I prefer the one-shot. I think it's because it's like, here's the story all wrapped up in a neat little bow. Anyway. Pardon me. I do like how, as we go along, things, little bits you see it and you're like, yes, I see the relevance of that now. Feels good. There's much to discuss. The others are making their way hither as we speak. Welcome back, my friend. How was your journey? Assuming one can get past the taste. I always love reading the description of these things. By the 12th, Archonloaf? How did you come by this? I'd swear it comes straight from Charlian. Brambro said that, did he? His words are very nearly as heavy as the bread, but I appreciate the sentiment. Should you have the chance, you may tell him he needn't worry. That which I seek to do, I do of my own volition and with all my heart. In pursuing this path, I fully expect to earn the censure of our friends, and to deserve it, but I shall forge on regardless. Forge on as you yourself did when faced with a similar predicament. So I ask that you have faith in me, in what we do. But we were talking about your body. Before the others arrive, I would hear how their bodies fare. Oh, and the bread I shall save for later. Though it's been many years, I have not forgotten the feats of mastication, ready quiet to consume it. What a beautiful phrase, feats of mastication. You know how unconducive they are to conversation. Please for your voice cutscene and spare my voice.
Forgive the delay.
Thanks, Alfie. Go back to auto advance.
We have visited every region and confirmed the presence of Ascians throughout the realm.
Bad content.
Lest a grave predicament be made to seem hopeless, it should be noted that they are of inferior rank. The black masked minions who answer to the red.
It's because almost all of the superior ones are fucking dead.
Of schemers attempting to exploit recent events to sow the seeds of petty conflict.
That's an Ascian.
Fortunately,
Tip to toe, that's an
nothing
Ascian.
of great concern has come of their meddling just yet.
We also encountered a number of the Crystarium's former
Pardon me.
defenders, busily solving this problem and that in a bid to become warriors of light.
Thing is, they don't need to be warriors of light. They can just be.
Applauded. 'Tis but a pity I cannot encourage them on their cause.
They just need to be helpful and care for
Not
people.
knowing Elizabeth set them upon it, no. Both the troubles to be solved and the villains to be vanquished are his doing too, like as not. And so, with apologies to the aspiring
I'm sorry for the
warriors of
yawns.
light, I
Shit,
believe it's
so
best that we
tired.
deal with the Ascians quickly and quietly.
I quite agree.
But tell us, what news from the source? How fare our bodies?
Take good. I'll be honest. I'm sorry, but things have taken a turn for the worse.
Oh dear. Then we must redouble our efforts. Not that we've ever stinted in that regard.
This would seem an appropriate moment to ask about the spirit vessel. Tell me you've made some progress.
We have, as it happens. One moment.
I'm being quiet because I'm enjoying the cutscene and also resting my voice.
The red stones.
The
Then this
red
stuff
reed.
mean?
For the benefit of all, permit us to explain. As you will recall, using white auracite as our starting point, we fashioned a vessel for mind and memory both. Yet, though it served this purpose admirably, the process of imbuing it with one's complete essence proved a somewhat thornier proposition. Simply put, the memory would not accompany the mind. And so, we looked to the Allegan's mastery of memory transference for a solution.
This approach was not without its own complications, however, relying as it does upon blood, which inanimate objects notably do not possess.
I love slightly
We explored
sassy,
methods of
sarcastic
suffusing the
Exarch.
vessel with drops of the aforementioned. Alas, our painstaking experimentation succeeded only in making me feel faint, and singularly failed to imbue the crystal with the necessary properties. It was then that an idea occurred to me, namely that we might fuse the vessel not with normal blood, but with my crystallized essence.
You're doing this for our sakes. So far be it from us to complain. But don't think we haven't noticed what's happening to your arm.
It falls well short of offering up my life in exchange for yours, which was your only stipulated prohibition, as I recall. And it is but a small price to pay for delivering you home.
Assuming it works. We shall soon know if this grisly addition will serve as a suitable conduit for the subject's memory. Though not soon enough to warrant your waiting. The test is like to take a while.
Let us be off then. We have Ascians to attend to, among other things.
We sure should do.
Forgive me, but I count 6 vessels, and there are only 5 of us.
One is for testing purposes. I will personally use it to see whether the crystal functions as it should.
And if it does, wouldn't that mean that your soul could also return to the source?
And this is where he's like, well, speaking of that.
Yes, in theory, at least. But there is a distinct difference between your circumstances and mine. While your corporeal forms want for souls, my past self does not. Mayhap our essences would blend, or mayhap they would curdle.
I love the phrase curdle for this. So visceral.
And you'd be willing to take that risk?
I would.
I see.
I still can't blame her. I still really cannot blame her. Like, Alphino and Alize are older, but they're still just kids. They are still, you know, they may be more mature, they may be smarter. In the end, they are children. Hast thou a moment, Ashad? I would speak with thee on the matter of Exarch's muted repugnance to the source. That will have observed that our friend spake not uncertainties. Yet if Beck-Luke hath the right of it, 'tis possible to predict the outcome of his plan with some confidence. And it is their assessment that, given the opportunity, the Exarch's soul should successfully merge with that of his younger self. Which is not to say the process is without complications. For one, the Exarch has been subject to an additional rejoining, an experience which will have wrought a change in his ethereal composition. As thou itself did demonstrate in merging with Ardbert, however, there existed an affinity twixt like souls, and this doth give us cause to hope. Yet there remaineth one immutable condition upon which success doth hinge. The Exarch must needs recognise his past self as simply that, himself. As our recent traversals have demonstrated, memories are essential to the soul. Any discrepancy in the former may feasibly cause the latter to spurn its former flesh. It is a seemingly simple yet complex problem. For nigh on a century, our friend has striven only to deliver this realm, to deliver thee, and to that singular end did he cast aside his very name, that he might assume the mantle of the Crystal Exarch. Henceforth, none can say what choices our friends will make, but I thought it only right that thou must be made aware of these truths. So, to translate that into English, basically, it's even though they are the same soul and we have proof from us that one can do that and live quite easily, it can still be a pain, especially if his Exarch self doesn't recognise his Graha self as them being the same people, as I understand it. It's that time. Right then, while the Exarch literally pours his own sweat and blood into his allotted task, seems only fair that we attend to our own. Dealing with Elidibus and his minions. Just so, and there is one other matter. In light of our deteriorating health, Ishola should not be left alone at Anaida. Might I trouble you to visit her, Ashard? See that all is well? I would go myself, but I think she might be safer in the hands of one less prone to collapsing. Shall go help Ishtola and she will yell at me. My thanks, you may leave the Asians to us. Once you're out of the way, we'll turn to Yulmore, and when Ishtola has finished plumbing the depths, I'd like the two of you to join us there. If we are bound for Anaida, I suggest you go via Venment Yards. Our friends there will be glad to provide a boat for you. Let us be on our way then. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I love that phrase. Wait, I have a gift for you from Tataru. We didn't do the delivery. Goodbye, not on Ashard. I don't know if he's done the post-Moogle quest, actually. From Tataru, you say? Whatever could it be? Arkon, no, if thou sayest. Why, even to hear the name doth transport me to times long past. Bread from another world. May I try some? Mayest thou, child? Thou must. That said, though I personally disagree with the consensus, I do nonetheless advise thee to temper thine expectations. Wiser words have never been uttered. I love Reen. The already darkened our dining table at home. I can attest that it was standard fare at the studio. Indeed, a slice was never far from our peers' hands. Alphino, you really are an unbearable snob sometimes. Do you know that? Well, I believe my colleagues are trying to say so we appreciate the gesture. Tell Tataru we'll do our best to return before she seeks to seek further supplementary employment. Right, let's be off now. We can find a drink to wash down the bread on the way. I love the little, like, touch of Alphino being, like, so, in sort of thinking about how he's being a snob that he, like, doesn't realise they've all left. It just makes me giggle. It just does me a giggle. That's all. There's this fluff stuck to my shirt. An entire fluff. That feel when teleport to a new area and the first thing you think is, good lord, I've got so many side quests to do. Hello. Oh, if it ain't the warrior Douglas himself, brings you to these parts. Heading out to sea, eh? Of course we'll be happy to help. Just say the word and I'll ready a boat. We get to enjoy the funky Anaida music. Well, actually it's silent, so we don't get to enjoy the funky Anaida music, but...
Excellent.
Back to my friend's body, you
I
bitch.
had intended to speak with you alone.
Oh my. Oops, I'm sorry, go to auto progress.
None of my doing, lest you misunderstand. The link between our body and soul wavers. I know not what you hoped to find here, but it will avail you naught to learn of our past.
I just like learning. I do. Ashard is like... I like that he gets this grimace on his face whenever he gets the echo, because it really does feel like it's like reviewing the records yet again. Really? You worry too much, Lidibus. Oops, sorry, I skipped dialogue there. This dedication to your duty verges on obsession. And think something you feel suited for the role. How wrong they were. It really does smack of condescension to me, this conversation. But come, turn your gaze outside the window, my friend. The rains have ceased, and we have been graced with another beautiful day. I guess I kind of forget that, like...
It fades. Fades away into oblivion. Does the world no longer have need of me? No. I am Elidibus, and I will fulfill my duty. Sundered though you may be, you fought for the world's salvation. For hope. Hope. Ah, it swells within me, empowers me. Now I may carry out my mission. And yet...
I think he did know us.
Why do I...
And he forgot us.
yearn for this? Why do I struggle so?
Because everyone wants somewhere to belong. I like to think the further we go along, the worse.
I shall take her into my safekeeping.
Ashard's echo flashback
If you
headaches
want
get.
back, you will do as I ask. Show me your strength. I would take your measure. I have prepared a suitable arena. You need but ride the flow of ether.
Let's get into the Feelz zone, boys! Time to get into the Feelz zone, the zone of Feelz. Duty calls. Right, let's do it. Osterby, if you're watching this, plug your ears. Arm itchy, itchy arm. Stop being itchy. Stop being itchy and heal already. You're familiar with this place, I believe. This remembered Amarot. Proceed to the capital. I shall return your comrade to you there. Enough of this. You speak as if you were disappointed in me. Why? Obviously Ardbert has our voice because he's us. I am your enemy and you mine. Our goals are in conflict and we are fated to clash. Or do you hope that feigned sympathy and false understanding would cast your crimes in less reprehensible light? That I would come to look upon you as a friend? Oops. You have slaughtered my people. You would tear down everything we have built. This is the thing I find interesting about him. Is his belief that there is no way for us to work together and that we have to be enemies. You do not deny it then. Very well, let us change the cast of this trial. You will know what you have stolen from us. How good making them into our friends. And the good echoey version of answers. Oh my god. But do not imagine I crave remorse, only justice. It's always fun to do this on our shard and actually see the expressions that your character's supposed to be making because of the Moogle. Forward, hero. We shall see how strong you have become. Let us begin. Rest assured, there are no tricks. You need but defeat the enemies before you. First, something easy. Those whom a budding hero might encounter at the start of his tale. And I believe I have the perfect subjects. Instantly, it's just like, let not their appearances stay your hand. Beneath the facade, they are merely monsters. Right, fine, Stola, you first. All too easy, I see, but at least you now understand the rules. Thus will we make our way to the capital. That was in poor taste even for you. That appearance should unsettle you so. I was under the impression you simply destroyed all who barred your way, sparing no thought to the possibility your foe could be someone's beloved. But come, we shouldn't dwell on the beginning where so much of your story awaits. Friends, buddies. Friends. Every tale requires villains. Defeat them and claim your place as a hero. Wittity and Sasavinus. That most scary and intense of villains, right? Maybe guys will stay dead this time. Well done, champion of Eorzea. Onward then, over the bloodied bodies of the fallen. Stay dead. Stay dead. Love this version of answers. You tasted many triumphs, yes, but so too did you taste bitter tragedy. Who could forget the Crystal Braves? That idealistic, pathetic dream born from a malformed creature. I once again face them and face this as you know and loathe all. Yet your hatred burn and strike them down with all your might. Love you too, little bird. Sloppy. Sloppy. Such ease yet again. You always did go strong with every battle. what I was going to say was, yet again, I say forget rather than forget, because I don't know why. Seems it'll take more than those monsters to leave an impression upon you. Mayhap you simply fail to understand my meaning. Not that it matters. No, I have dealt with countless heroes and always acted the same way. No amount of reasoning will bridge our differences, will result in happiness for all. Whatever your reason may be, I cannot be bound by them. I can but put faith in my own beliefs and fight for them with all my being. Seems there's nothing for it but for us to fight. For a certainty, I am Elidibus, and come what may, I will fulfill my mission. To that end do I take your measure, and eventually I will eliminate you. Your hopes and dreams are inconsequential. But enough talk. It is not your assertions that I wish to know, but your strengths. There he is. Falsely accused of regicide, he fled for the snow-swept fields of Coerthus. Little. Had you and the Science met your demise that day in the Sultanate, La Hebrea might have been spared his. Only do you suddenly live? You hurled yourself into the thick of the Dragonsong War. Of course he did. Like, what else would he have done, this guy? Swept along by the tide of events, you pursued and slowed those who sought to stop the unending conflict, just as you were bid. Or was it a thirst for vengeance that drove you? Little from column A, little from column B. Sorry if the sound is very loud, I can turn that down. I just wanted to turn it up for the music. Fuck you, most of all. I trust that you're beginning to limber up. Do keep up for fine form. Oh, you know all about me limbering up, Ashard. Did I just say Ashard when I meant Ardbert? Sure shit did. Small friends. They are friends. Around heroes, people are wont to flock. People who harbour all manner of motives, each baser than the last. I can't believe... Come, play the curtains wise on the grand melee. Can't believe this game was like, oh yeah, actually you are going to fight like your one true video game love. No more than they deserve. In the end, the hand of friendship was tainted with personal desire. They are friends. They are friends. We are going to waste our entire dragon sight, but oh well. Rip blood of the dragon, I guess. You know what comes next. You put an end to the Dragonsong War. And Ashard's like, yep. There's no saving your comrade this time. All you can do is cut off the serpent's head. Don't be doing all the cool things that I can't do. It's extremely rude. Okay, there we go. Beat you up with your own role. You taught me to Dragoon Justinian. Now I will fuck you up. And as simple as that, a 1000-year war is brought to its conclusion. And Ashard's like, okay, and I sit now. This is it. Story ended for me here. But every end marks a new beginning. And for heroes such as you, there is only ever conflict. And then Ashard got dragged forward into Stormblood, much against his will. But he had a conversation with Lise, or Lisi as you may wish to call her, as I call her, about home and decided he had to help her. How are you enjoying the walk down memory lane? I dare say there will be even a few individuals whom you harbour deep feelings, whose passing caused you keenest grief. This is what our people are to us, an irreplaceable existence that can ill be lost. I will save them, for they are my... Never mind. We are not here to talk. Let us return to the task at hand. Emperor Solus had kindled an insatiable flame. Garlemald was its name, and it raged across the land, consuming all in its path. Following the trail of ash, you set forth for Alamigo and Doma into a storm of blood. I don't have dote on this character, but for Dola, she's here. Again you fought, and again you grew stronger, so strong that we could no longer control you. Use as unnatural beastly strength, and we shall lay it bare. In order to gain a foothold in the liberation effort, you journeyed to the far eastern plains. There you encountered the land's greatest warriors and sought to win them over to your cause.
The sun cannot be extinguished.
Or in the case of Grindelwald, you just beat them up. Bugger.
It is not enough!
The strong are drawn to the strong. Thus did you gather new allies to your banner. See you. Slash don't unsee you. Yeah, where ardent souls gather, so too do fires burn. In this way did you consign those around you to flames. Burn them all, hero. Reduce them to nothingness, like the ephemeral morning dew that they are. I'm sorry, Hian. Ah, what? Rude. Though that is extremely cool, Hian, and you are. Don't you be I cannot fail not again to me. You just did a really cool thing that I almost backflipped out of and then straight back into. You did not hesitate, or perhaps could not. No matter, let us turn our attention to the finale. Xenos fan dickwad. Here we shall have a test between fellow beasts. It is only fitting, would you not agree? Or, Xenos, ye dipshit. When I fought you in the flesh, 'twas I who triumphed. Will you turn the tables this time? Second wind! I did the stupid... Is that all? My creation appears to have lost its form. It is no easy thing to see through the eyes of a beast such as him. In any event, there is only so much to be learned by taking your measure this way. Let us try something different. Come, we continue within. Now that I'm doing this for the second time, it's so cool. It is such a cool reminder of everything we've done, everything we've accomplished, everything that's happened to our characters. I love that on Olivia, my friend Oster's character, who became the Warrior of Light after the original Warrior of Light died at the end of Heaven's Ward, and so he picks up in Stormblood. Half of that is like, this is some other dude that did it and I just inherited his, like, abilities. An impression of solar strength, but surely no more than a foretaste of that which Emisart's conquerors are capable of. Such might requires a fairer measure, To compare like with like. Yes. I shall just have to test you myself. Come on, Ashad. Show me what you can do. That's how I feel about all of this. Don't be doing this to me. Even a second time round game. Oddbert, the blue DPS. I think I may have taken a screenshot of a blank screen there by accident, but oh well. I may not be the real Ardbert, but you'd be well not to underestimate me. All that made him the warrior he was, every battle waged, every blow swung, is part of my very being. So come, fight me like you mean to take my head. Shit's fucked. I am, of course, a dragoon, so I will stand him stupid. Oh, I forgot that the ability is named Overcome All Odds. That just makes me even sadder. Good, good. I sense your murderous intent. That's not all you sense, buddy. Aye, you'd kill me given a chance. Mayhap you think to recover this body? If so, prove that it's no use to me. Prove that I cannot best you with it. Come at me with everything you've got. I'll rend you to pieces. Fuck. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Nadeebs. Nadeebs. Might want to watch your step. Running and yelling. Just have to survive for 14 more seconds, and then second wind will be back up. How did I get hit by that? I was nowhere near that. What the fuck? You saw that, right? I was nowhere near that. Ah, rude. Second wind, save me. Oh, he does 10,000. Fucking scrub second wind. I see. You're a different beast from when you faced my creations. Very well. I will truly transcend my limits, and we will see what you are truly capable of. Stop scooching around. Arrgh. I've had worse. Hold nothing back, for neither will I. Earth, writhe and rage. Ow. go. Sorry, I'm actually having to concentrate here, so... I'm being quieter than I perhaps normally would. But it is because I'm concentrating. Second wind. Arm hurts. Right. Time for fucking exaflares. My worst enemy. Nightmare of my soul. I have my answer. Really sleepy. Just cuddle up and go for a nap right now.
You have grown stronger.
Stuff is definitely shaking. Like our shard is.
The result of your trials in the first, no doubt.
Our shard soul is Ardbert soul rather is. I love Ishtar so much, my queen, my babe. She's like, alright, enough of this.
My apologies. I freed myself as soon as I awoke, but rather too late, I see. Now, Elidibus, if you have ceased trading blows, I would trade words with you. I have a theory, you see. One concerning that which you seek to accomplish. It stems from who, or rather what, you truly are. A primal.
Dun dun dun. Sorry, I was looking up a quote that I remembered.
The ancients created Zodiac to deliver the star from destruction. If the magic that brought him forth is the precursor of what we know as summoning, then Zodiac would have been instilled with a presiding desire. I found it among the records at Anida, and it came as no surprise. Were I faced with the world's destruction, I too would wish for the same. Salvation.
It's interesting how the two almost conflict.
I know that you sacrificed yourself to become Zodiac's heart. How you came to be separated from him is less clear. But if you are a fragment of his being, it stands to reason a desire for the world's salvation would drive you.
A desire for salvation and the job to guide everything on its path.
To inspire the masses to rise up as warriors of light, going so far as to use Ardbert as a symbol of hope.
Correct on all counts. Such is my nature, and such are my methods.
And that's why his method is so cookie cutter.
I have made them. I have even become them. This served not only to strengthen me, but also to facilitate the work of my brothers, such as Emmett Selk, with his penchant for nation building.
Then you will be all too familiar with the fickleness of mankind. We change, we forget, and what little we do remember becomes twisted and fragmented over time.
Much like him.
For which reason, you deem us unfit to carry on your legacy. But are you, yourself, free of these foibles? As the last witness of the final days, do you remember everything that was lost? Or even the things you cared about? primal is shaped by the hope that fuels it. Even should this hope be something as simple as the world's salvation, it is the collective desire of innumerable disparate souls crying out for deliverance. Having drawn your strength from such a cacophony of voices, can you truly be sure you still speak with your own?
I love Ishtar so much.
Your question is irrelevant. No matter how much I should change, no matter how much I should forget, I shall ever remember my duty.
It just makes me sad.
At times I stand with my brethren. At times I stand against them. All that I might steer mankind and the very star upon their true course. For Elidibus is my name and my mission, guiding my every deed.
Should be interested to see what this true course refers to, if it's anything other than ultimate rejoining.
But enough talk. You have shown me sufficient proof of your might. As I am now, I would struggle to defeat you. Yet I have still to play all of my cards. If I could offer you some semblance of sport, your lessers would pose no threat to me. Would you not agree, warrior of darkness?
It's not how this works, dipshit. I feel like my reactions are like not there because I am so tired, and again it is because I'm doing this for the second time. I love this. I love 5.3 so much. It's so good, and it does stand up on a second playthrough. Having recently done 5.2 in this guy, it's just that I am so tired I've forgotten how to like express things. It has been an eventful morning, if indeed it is morning. I have no idea how long I was unconscious. Regardless, I'm gratified to see that my efforts at Anida have borne fruit. Pardon me, we've confirmed the nature of our foe and his plot. Now then, what news from the surface? Plenty and none of it good. I see, then let us make for Yulmore at once. We have much to share with our comrades, Elidibus' parting threat not least of all. Ah, but forgive me, it would seem my belongings did not accompany me here. I will need to retrieve them from Anida. With luck, the ethereal stream universe still lingers. I won't be long. I really thought this was Arbert's soul stone, or his job stone the first time I saw it. Peculiar crystal lies on the capital's polished floor. A peculiar crystal lies on the floor. Upon its surface, an array of lights twinkle like a tiny constellation of stars. Day 4th, bring honour to the seat of... The distorted voice of an ancient rings out in your mind. A moment preserved in the crystal, it would seem. You notice something else glitting up ahead. Written in the stars. It's the only line I know of that song. About written in the stars. Tiny temple it is. You find 3 more crystals lying on the floor. Though they differ in colour and decoration, each is identical in shape. You focus on the crystals and find that the words they hold ring clearer than before. Behold, my friends. Embraced by the earth and caressed by the wind, vibrant life flourishes. All is right in creation. There can be no greater joy than to use our wisdom for the good of our people. No greater pride. May all know happiness, now and forever. I get the feeling that they each reflect a different element, you know? I feel that in my bones. There do not appear to be any more crystals in the hall. Perhaps it would be wise to continue the search outside. Although I believe there are only 8 elements. So, maybe not. Forgot. I think they're the 8 elements plus light and darkness, like the aspected ethers. I think ice, water, air, fire, earth, lightning. Fire, earth, air, ice, lightning, water. Fire, earth, air, ice, lightning, water. Yeah. Remembered eventually. Plus light and darkness. Your instincts serve you true and you discover another 2 crystals. I know some people think that Selk is the one who left these. As you reach out the continents, new voices begin to echo in your mind. I personally think it was Hythlodaeus. The heavens are ablaze and the land rent asunder. What will become of the world? Is life itself to be denied? Come what may, we must not sunder to despair. If we but hold fast to hope, we may yet find a path to salvation. The voices tell an incomplete tale. Might there be more? In the meantime, we do get to enjoy the lovely music. You soon discover 2 more crystals, rather too soon in fact, as if someone wanted you to find them. Everything burns, crumbles, decays. I hear the lamentations of my brethren, and soon there will be only silence. We will deliver our star from its doom, this we swear, so please, dry your tears. Whatever awaits at the end of your search, it is plain you have yet to find it. Sure enough, your persistence is swiftly rewarded, this time with 3 crystals. The time has come. We shall rewrite the laws of creation, and we shall save our star. From this life our Saviour born, may I be worthy of the honour. I feel my soul turning, slowly but irrevocably, and the power I wield begins to seem terrible. But this is right. It is right. Gonna knees. The tale the crystals weave seems near its end, but it isn't over yet. Hey, pardon me. Pardon me. Sludge. That's what I look like in the mornings, like that. With an almost melancholy inevitability, the 12th crystal soon reveals itself to your questing eye. Though salvation is ours, it came at great price. All that remains is to pray that we will one day meet again beneath a blue sky. Judging by his testimony, it would seem the voice was recorded in the wake of the final days. As you scan the area, another glint catches your eye. I love how much of 5.3 is about memory. It's about the mark that you leave on the world around you. the memories of you that remain in that world, and it's about the mantle that you pass on to other people. And I was talking about this in one of my spoiler chats the other day, but I really love the idea of you know, perhaps the bunnies put another mural up, and it shows the Static of Light, and it shows us, and it shows the Scions, and it has the Exarch, and it's the story of, you know, the second salvation of the first. You know, you know, the cosmic salvation, shall we say. And I like the idea that it's up there in these wall murals, and then it's sealed away, and then in 100 years another Static of Light comes along, and they're investigating, and they look at the wall murals, and they see, and they look at it, and it's like they look at Tiuna and they go, oh, she's a warrior of light, and then they look at the mural of the Static of Light and of the Scions and of us, and they go, and they must have been too. And it makes me tear up, the idea of, you know, in 100 years and 200 years, 300 years, seeing that history recorded there. And I like to, you know, it makes me happy to think of the stories maybe that they tell, and of the stories of heroism that they tell of us. You know, these strangers from a distant star who came and who saved the world and who changed things for the better and who inspired these actions in others. Makes me really happy but sad. It's something I think about a lot in like my own life. Gone is the brilliant radiance of life, replaced by the sickly glow of malformed creatures. Is this to be how it ends? For we who love the star with all our being? No, I will not suffer it to be so. I guess this is Silk. Well, 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 we meet again, my new old friend. It's that boy. The receptionist at the Bureau of Secretaries. Chief of the Bureau of Architect, in fact, where I also answered to the name of Hythlodaeus. It was a joke. A bad joke, but... I see you have been collecting stars. I speak of those crystals. They have constellations etched upon them, yes? High in heavens, those stars shine their guiding light down upon the lives below. Fitting symbols for the convocation of 14, would you not agree? As you will have gathered, each crystal bears an account of the life of a member of the convocation as remembered by the Unsundered. Lest you worry, they aren't concepts. They are far too incomplete to be so. But they suffice for imbuing memories within sundered souls, that they might be restored to their office. Keep them. I'm sure Ramitselk wouldn't mind. So, how fare you of late? You were feuding with Elidibus this time, I believe? So here's all the shit that's been going on in my life. I shall refrain from passing comment on your struggle. It is not my place to do so, long departed as I am. I wonder if their speech sounds more familiar or like logical in Japanese. But if I may give voice to a personal desire, I would rather you lived. If you do not, how will you keep your promise to Emitselk? The promise to remember? It must weigh heavily, the burden of all those memories. To one who has lived a life such as yours, I can well imagine how Elidibus's existence might seem hollow, how empty a single-minded pursuit of a half-forgotten cause must appear. But know that his devotion is not without reason, even if he himself can no longer remember what that reason is. Well, that is quite enough talk about Elidibus. I would see if you can reunite the wayward stars. I mentioned before that there was a member of the Convocation who opposed Zodiac summoning and defected, one whose office was left vacant. Defectors having been deemed unworthy of commemoration, no crystal exists for the individual in question. Or shouldn't exist at any rate, and wouldn't had a friend not created one in secret. A crystal bearing the forgotten name of his office, along with a magic of his own conceiving, a singular incantation embodying his spirit. Among all the offices, the 14th was the most unusual, for while the rest sat in Amarot, its holder was charged with gaining an intimate knowledge of the wider world. In the course of his duty, he travelled the length and breadth of every land and befriended countless folks. He encountered troubles too, of course, matters which he could have simply referred to the Convocation, but that was not his way. Nay, more often than not, he would call upon his comrades and together resolve matters themselves. Such is the magic sealed within that crystal, the magic to summon the stars to your side. In time of greatest need, should you wish upon it with all your heart, it will surely answer your call. I love it. And now, it is where it belongs. Oh, there is no need for thanks, but nor will I hear any complaints about it either. After all, I cannot say whether I act of my own volition or by the will of my recreator. Oh, sorry.
I was wondering where you'd disappeared to.
Just going off on adventures, don't worry.
Is something troubling you?
Everything is absolutely fine.
No? Very well. I have everything. Let's hurry back to the surface.
I've just realised they started animating them when they speak. It's English. It's not... It used to be that the mouth animations would be in Japanese and the voice would be in English, but it's the mouth that was her saying, "Let's hurry back to the surface." Don't know when they started doing that, but that's pretty neat. Fresh air at long last. I would celebrate my return to dry land with a pot of tea, had we the luxury of time. But we must be prepared for Elidibus. Given what we know, it is plain he will not be deterred from his course. And nor would I if I were him, not if it meant forsaking everything I loved. That said, I have not forgotten how Selk sought to find common ground with us for all our misgivings. Ultimately, our differences were not to be bridged, of course, but one must always try. Selk understood this, and if his gesture resonated with you, perhaps you might consider reaching out to his brethren. Though it may be all for naught, you of all people should know there is no such thing as a foregone conclusion. That's dead and critical hit. Right, we're going to pick this up. We're going to teleport to Yulmore and leave off there. Right, no more musing. We've taken far too long as it is. Our friends await us in Yulmore, yes? Let us hurry up and join them. Because we are going to teleport to Yulmore, and even though it is slightly early, we are also going to now log out here and end things off here, because I am very sleepy and I want to go brew myself a pot of tea and possibly get some ice cream before we get into the next section. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. We are at I think we're at a pretty nice end and a sort of time to break in the story here before we move on to the next chunk of plot. So thank you very much for watching. It is very much appreciated, and I do hope that you enjoyed. I will be streaming. I will almost definitely not be streaming tomorrow because I will be incredibly tired, so that's definitely, almost definitely unlikely to happen. But I will be streaming Higurashi When They Cry, Tsumi Horoboshi on Thursday, where we will see the effects of helping or of burying some bodies, and I'm sure it will all be fine and nothing will be wrong and it will all have gone great. Then on Saturday it will be more Nier Automata, where we are going to return into the city to try and take on this Goliath class, inevitably die a lot, and see what happens next. Sunday will be Destiny 2, where we shall be continuing to hang out in space. I am going to be, I'm going to sort out a better plan of like what I'm doing this week. So it will probably either be Menagerie Week or Crucible Weekend, I just haven't decided yet. Then on next Tuesday it will be more Final Fantasy XIV, where we shall be picking up where we left off on our shard and continuing on with the story of 5.3. So take care everybody, have a wonderful evening, do look after yourselves and be excellent to each other. I am going to go have some tea, have some ice cream and hang out with the Pisces and then fall asleep. And I shall see you guys on Thursday.